everyone. After learning about so many gods and goddesses, are you tired? I hope not, because you will need more energy to listen to my introduction about 3 more gods. Hermes, Demeter, and Ares. Ares. First is Hermes. He was the child of Zeus and the nymph Maya. He was the messenger of gods, people, and the underworld, so he could enter Hades' palace whenever he liked. He was faster than the wind. Why was he so fast? Look at the picture. Because he always wore the winged sandals and a winged hat. If you have watched the movie Percy Jackson, you will probably remember the pair of shoes with wings. Percy Jackson wore the shoes to fly to the top of the building. Hermes was good at debating, and he was also proficient in poetry. Some of his statues look like a process of speaking. There was difference from other gods' statues. But one thing always has 2 sides. His strengths were also his shortcomings. He was a thief. He stole Apollo's cows when he was 2 years old. Can you imagine it? He was just a baby. He used his eloquence to get the witness to make fake alibi. Although Apollo knew who the thief was, he didn't have the evidence to prove it. So Apollo had a negotiation with Hermes. He said that if Hermes gave him Lyra, they would be even. They 2 were similar. They both liked instruments. The difference was that Hermes playing could hypnotize everything, even the giants who never slept. Do you want to learn this skill? I think you don't need to learn it from Hermes, because most of your teachers have this skill, right? And Hermes was the first god to show favor to mankind. He taught people how to drill wood for fire. And he was also the inventor of various competitions and boxing. So he became the protector of athletes. Hermes was set up as a young man. He and the goddess of love and beauty, Aphrodite, gave birth to Eros. Okay, this is all about Hermes' part. Next is Demeter. She was the daughter of Cronus and Rhea. She was the goddess of farming. Her name had a special meaning. De means earth. Meter means mother. So many people called her the Earth's Mother. Do you think of someone also called the Earth's Mother? Yes, just the same as Gaia. Demeter taught people how to plant crops and how to harvest. Without her, crops wouldn't grow and flowers wouldn't bloom either. Her daughter was Persephone. She was a really pretty girl. Many men would fall in love with her, including Zeus' brother, Hades. Rosita has just talked about that. There was another story. Hades took Persephone away. After Persephone was gone, her mother, Demeter, was searching for her everywhere. Then she came to a kingdom called Eleusis. She dressed up like an old woman. The king and the queen took her in and asked her to take care of their son. Demeter loved the prince very much and wanted to give him eternal life. She claimed the prince's body with ambrosia. It was a magic potion from Mount Olympus. However, the queen noticed the strange thing, so she stopped Demeter. I think the prince was really lucky to meet Demeter, but was also unlucky because the queen stopped him from becoming immortal. Look at the picture. The prince in the picture looks like he was burning, right? I want to ask you a question. If you see your son is burning, will you watch it or you will stop it? I think everyone will stop it, right? one more fun thing about Demeter. Poseidon loved her very much, but Demeter didn't want to answer his love. So she changed herself into a female horse and hid in a group of horses. However, Poseidon still found her. I know you know the answer, but I prepared, so I want to ask you, how did Poseidon find Demeter? A. He asked Hermes to steal all the horses on Mount Olympus and check them one by one. B. Poseidon changed himself into a male horse. C. He told Demeter that if she get married with him, he would ask Hades to give Persephone back. Which is the correct answer? Who choose A? Oh, no one. Okay. Who choose B? You are so smart. Who choose C? Oh, okay. The answer is B. Congratulations. Poseidon still found Demeter, and he changed himself into a male horse and mated with a female horse, Demeter. And they created a black man horse called Arion. He was a divinely brave and a super fast horse. Do you think these Greek gods were a little strange? Finally, it's Ares. He was the child of Zeus and Hera. He was an unwelcome god. He didn't have any position on Mount Olympus, and there was only one temple of him in the entire ancient Greece. He liked the world very much. He would appear wherever the world was. Someone said he was the biggest enemy to the intellect. Although he had a chariot with golden horses, he still fought on foot. I couldn't understand why it's so hurt. And he had a wife called Io. She was also called the town terminator. During the Trojan War, when the city of Troy was captured, she danced happily. They caused a hurricane. I think Ares and his wife were similar because they were both unwelcome. Ares seemed good at wars. In fact, he lost most of the fight. Athena was the goddess of wisdom and war, but they two were different. Athena's power was much higher than Ares. Everybody liked Athena, but no one liked Ares. What made him so unwelcome? Let's talk about this event. Ares once had an affair with the most beautiful goddess on Mount Olympus, Aphrodite. And Aphrodite was Ares' brother, Hephaestus' wife. Wow. So many gossiped about this event. But isn't it a very common thing in their world? Zeus even said that Ares was the most likely thing he wanted to sort out on Mount Olympus. I couldn't understand why Zeus said that, because he had so many children and got married with so many women, right? This is all about my part. Thank you for listening.